suppressing the vote once again. Let's head to Atlanta and Cliff Albright. He is the executive director and co-founder of Black Voters Matter. Cliff, thank you for joining us and welcome to Start Your Day, and thank you for being on BNC. Georgia blue for the first time in 28 years. Helped Biden get into office. We got 2 Democratic senators, 1 black, 1 Jewish, and now the state wants to change the rules like a countless number of other states want to do. They're basically suppressing the vote. They've already passed a measure in the House, and now they got a GOP-led Senate. What can be done to stop that, specifically in the state of Georgia?
Yeah, and to be clear, as you've indicated, that this is all in response to the massive turnout that we had, not only in November, but in that January election where we elected those 2 senators. What can be done to stop it? There's a couple of things, couple of tracks that we're working on. First and foremost, we believe that the business community in Atlanta and in Georgia throughout the entire state has got to be more aggressive. They've been shockingly silent on this issue. And, I posted yesterday on Twitter that evidently the businesses in the city too busy to hate are evidently too busy to take a stand against voter suppression. And that's what's been taking place there. They haven't said a word. We know the kind of leverage that companies like Coca-Cola and Home Depot and UPS and Delta Airlines, we know the kind of leverage that they have, right? And so what we need them to do is, when they say, well, what can we do? We need them to respond to this the same way they would respond as if their company or their industry was under attack. AT&T, one of those companies, they're actually on the top of the list in terms of companies that have given actual donations to the very legislators that are leading these voter suppression efforts. AT&T is at the top of that list. Coca-Cola not too far behind them. So in reality, it's not just that they've been silent on these issues. In some ways, they've actually been funding these issues, funding this voter suppression by providing donations and support to the very legislators that are leading the suppression efforts. We need them to change that. We need to take a stand against all these voter suppression bills. We need them to actually go a step forward and even get involved in a national discussion around H.R. 1, which, as you all have mentioned, was passed last night by the House. So we need them to get involved both in terms of the state level, in terms of blocking this voter suppression, but also at the federal level in terms of demanding support for H.R. 1 and H.R. 4. And to be clear, we're not just asking them to issue statements, right? They're good at issuing statements. All of these companies did some great statements during the summer protests for Black Lives Matter and did nice Super Bowl commercials, right? And did nice commercials for Dr. King's birthday and during Black History Month. We don't just need statements. We need them to take action the same way they would take action if their companies in the industry were under attack.
Yeah, and maybe give money too, right? You want money to the effort. As I take notes on who I need to call, who gets my money every month from my cell phone,
that's right,
from my provider, right? All that's important. Are you surprised at all? And I mean, I throw this out there. It's really a softball. I'm going to tee it up for you. Are you surprised about how transparent the effort has been to just stop Black and brown people from voting?
No, we're really not surprised by it, which is why we really felt that at the federal level, we were really hoping that the Biden administration and Congress would have acted even more swiftly. We know that there's a rush. We know that there's COVID. We know that there's a lot going on. But at the end of the day, if we don't get action on these voting rights bills, every other piece of legislation really becomes irrelevant, because they can be overturned through a new regime that comes in through this voter suppression, through the gerrymandering. So really, these voting rights bills are really at the heart of every other piece of legislation that's in the Biden agenda, right? And it's in the Black agenda. You all mentioned the George Floyd Act, the Policing Act, that was also voted on last night. All of that becomes at risk if we don't have a real democracy, if Black voting rights are not respected. So we're not surprised. In many ways, this attack was as unsurprising as the attack on the Capitol, right? Just like there was all kind of indications that attack, the riots at the Capitol, were going to happen on January 6th. We had all kinds of indications that states like Georgia and Arizona and Pennsylvania and 43 other states across the country would be doing this. In some ways, it's very reminiscent to the Civil War, right? That Abraham Lincoln gets elected, and before he even gets settled in the White House, South Carolina succeeds, right, and launches the first bullets. That's literally what these states like Georgia have done before the Biden administration and the new Congress could even get settled. They had already gone to work on these new voter suppression bills that are sweeping through all of these state legislatures. So no, it's not surprising at all. Anytime we have advancement, anytime in our movements, the civil rights movement or otherwise, we make advances, electing a black president, there's always a white backlash. We could see this coming a mile away. We've been preparing for it. We've been sounding the alarm about it across the country and in the state. And now we need more people to get on board, especially the business community.
Man, wide open. It's real transparent. You had a GOP lawyer tell the Supreme Court that, yes, we need these restrictions because it gives us an advantage. They're basically telling you straight up. So before we let you go, man, we've got about 30 seconds. Just tell us what more can we do? Who can we call? Once again, protesting some of these businesses. What more can we do to make sure that this doesn't happen and our votes are suppressed yet again?
Yeah, so several organizations in the state, including Black Voters Matter, the Georgia NAACP, New Georgia Project, Action Fund, Georgia Stand Up. We're launching a campaign. There's an ad that we put out in the AJC, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, as well as other newspapers across the state that's gone out today. Evidently, the business community is a little bit upset to see some of their businesses listed in that ad. But what people can do is you can follow us on social media, Black Voters MTR, like Matter, Black Voters MTR. We're going to be, we're going to have a landing page. We're going to have phone numbers up where folks can call these businesses. And as you mentioned, right, if this is a business that you support on a monthly basis, let them know. Because at the end of the day, they have got to be responsive, not just to voters, black voters in particular, but to their employees and to the consumers that support them on a regular basis. So we're going to have those phone numbers posted, and we're going to give them some time to respond. And if that doesn't work, then we might even take it to asking folks to show up at some of these businesses. But you can get all the information you need about these campaigns by following us on social media, Black Voters MTR.
Well, Mike and I, we'll be right there with you, okay? We work hard for our money, Cliff, and boy, don't forget to get me those signs from my yard behind you. We appreciate you, Cliff, and come back anytime, okay? Thanks so much. Start your day when we come right back.